na kushikanisha na mama ni mambo ya ajabu. Hearing something like it, so I condemn it in the strongest terms possible. And since we were saying this in the presence of President William Ruto, and Ruto did not even hold him and tell him, hey, Mheshimiwa, even if you want to support me, this is not the way to do it. So clearly, we had as a party, because unfortunately in our books, Honorable Farah Maalim appears as a deputy party leader. I can assure you, before the end of this year, we will have had our national convention of the party, and I can assure you there is no way Mheshimiwa Farah Maalim can get a single vote from the party that I'm honored to lead as a party leader. In the meantime, we've referred the matter to the party's disciplinary committee, and I'm sure it is handling that. But after today's outrageous utterances, I would advise him to resign from the party. He doesn't have to wait to be thrown out. Now, this is a kind of fresh air we are going to have to exercise in our country. I hope this gives some comfort to our sister Anjiru. And she was complaining, she was saying this is personal, I apologize. She doesn't have to apologize, because what Honorable Farah, other people, people like Adings Kodek, other people, people like Adings Kodek, I didn't find Kodek in parliament, but there are people who were serious leaders. People like Matiba, for example. Matiba was a rich man, but he didn't hide it. He didn't hide it. He elaborated clearly how he made his wealth, because you not expect that also leaders are not supposed to grow their wealth portfolios. But there are others like Robert Ouko, a professional minister for foreign affairs, after whom I actually learned so much. I mean, after whom I came into office. And people again who are in the area of our diplomacy, countries' diplomacy, giving a clear direction on what this country stands for in terms of our international relations. These days, you get our men thrown into Haiti with absolutely no consideration whatsoever. Sorry about this. Are you still there?
Yes, we are here. We can hear you.
People try to interfere with this phone.
Okay.
I have come out, for example, to say we have sent our men on military assignments, peacekeeping missions in the past, to countries like Angola, to Mozambique, to other. These countries work for international peace. That has been one of my preoccupations during my professional time. I'm very proud of what I've done over the years to, for example, make sure that we end up with the world's newest state, the Republic of South Sudan. Never mind, they're also facing big challenges. But this took a serious intervention as a foreign minister. And of course, also working in the region with Somalia. I've even tried to help our people in Burundi, and more recently, in fact, in the DRC, helping President Kabila and Felix Tshisekedi to form a coalition government. The continent of Africa is really bedeviled with a lot of political challenges. But then, as a person, I think I've honestly played my role in the ministries that I was given to lead. And even as vice president, now Kenyans may not remember, for example, that as Minister for Education, I actually outlawed corporal punishment in our schools, in keeping with what the world, of course, has come to look at children's rights and what have you. But sometimes you have this thing about collective responsibility, the doctrine of collective responsibility. And when that happens, then you end up with a breakdown in terms of political responsibility. I'm addressing you, Dr. Nyakundi, because you're saying, can I take responsibility for some of those failures? Indeed, when the country goes wrong and we end up losing people in tribal clashes and others, you feel it. But you cannot run away because you're not running the country alone. Yeah? And that you cannot even, I think others think, the double speak by the political elite. Some of us over the years have come to be who we are. And I want you to trust me that you will never hear going forward or at all a situation where I can be compromised. I've never been compromised, and therefore, really, Duncan Onyango Daktari, I'm happy that you are able to see to make sure that we bring sanity in our country and to stop these very unfortunate abductions. Kibet Bull is safely now home, and even Senator Okia Omtata, who is your political colleague, we will appreciate that I had to go down there to the police cells and to assure him that you are not going to allow him to suffer injustice. That's why we're able to get him out with a mere 1,000 shillings bond. We are determined to make the difference. Don't worry about the culture of handshake. You know, this is very troubling because I can understand you, Onyango Duncan, when you say an old Masai man told you we cannot elect Raila or Ruto or Kalonzo. Of course, obviously, I've been Raila's running mate for 10 political years, and I think that's why they associate. So it's a case of guilty by association. But the time has come to stand in solidarity with the Kenyan people so that Kenyans are able to see the real Kalonzo Musyoka, not one who is seen from the lens of Raila or Ruto or Moi or other people. Therefore, I want to assure you that you can trust me. They say that the proof of the pudding is actually in the eating. Now, a few things have been asked about Babayao. I gather you, Bwana Mwangi, famous economist, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you tried to run for Governor Kiambu. Listening to Babayao, because there's a principle also in law, because we cannot really, if we are going to be, to imbue in our citizens the ethos about constitutionalism, we must also accept the law of natural justice, which says that no person can be condemned unheard, and everybody is seen to be innocent until they are proven guilty. If you listen to Babayao, he'll tell you actually the reason he was impeached as Governor Kiambu was because he was supporting William Ruto, and the other guys on the other side didn't seem to like that. Now, if there are cases that are pending in court, what I can do, I can assure you, if Babayao is found guilty of corruption, believe you me, he will not find in me a very good colleague. Because then at that point, you'll tell him, you know, Babayao, this is the law, this is it. You made the appeal, and therefore, you know, nobody is able to listen to you. But as of now, give him the benefit of the doubt. Let him be able to explain himself to the Kenyan people. Therefore, do not say that if he's seen in a political press conference, then Kalonzo becomes also guilty by association. I want to assure you, my friends, that the time has come to redeem our country. Real time. And the real leaders must now stand up. From the Gen Zs to the millennials to even the older people like Kalonzo Musyoka, who are determined to hand over this country to the younger people as a country we can be proud of. Right now, it's a country in shambles. And we'll be calling out everybody, calling out William Ruto and his administration, calling them out. We will not, you know, one of the criticisms has been, oh, you people in opposition say so much, but you do not offer any solutions. Were we not able to offer a solution when we said no to the Andani takeover of the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport? That was a very loud no, and we demonstrated it by going to court. As senior counsel, I want to tell you, I will not hesitate taking positions, even some of the briefs pro bono, like I did, of course, for Kia Mutata and friends there, pro bono, to be able to get the right and the progressive forces coming out to stand and be counted at a very critical time, at such a time as this. We would not want this country to collapse. We would do our best. But of course, I also agree, and I think Raila himself said it, if he did not come to the rescue of William Ruto, we would be having a different situation. But that is for Raila himself to deal with if you're able to catch up with him. So stop there and assure all these colleagues, and I know the others were concerned, but to be honest with you, the utterance by Farah Maalim deserves absolute condemnation by all of us who love this country. And even if he wants to support William Ruto up to 2032, that is his business. Let him do so. But let him do so without abusing Kenyans and abusing Kenyan mothers. Kenyan mothers deserve respect. In days like this, when we have a lot of cases of femicide, for example, we cannot really stand in silence when we are seeing some derogation of basic people's rights, like the rights of the mothers and Kenyans in general. I hope you are still there, my friend.
We are here. Yeah, Mheshimiwa, we are listening.
I'm actually getting worked up
Okay,
because
yes.
and as I said, it's very refreshing to listen to Dr. Duncan Onyango, Dr. Nyakundi. Nyakundi started by saying he wanted only 2 minutes. I think he addressed us for about 10, but that's okay. I learned a lot. But I also want to say one thing.
Yes.
That when I ran for election in 2007, I was the only presidential candidate who declared my worth. And I'm still very open. I'm very open about these things. But I'm also a professional. I have a law firm called Musyoka Murambi and Associates, all right? And if I earn legal fees, of course, William Ruto overtaxes them, overtaxes everything. I never understood how you can, charge value tax on VAT on professional services. But there we are. So we earn a little money, and we have to educate our children. We have to also make sure we allow families to grow. So it is not that when you become a politician, you should end up a pauper. But I think enough to keep you going, to raise up your family, and to, in a case of somebody like me, to bequeath future generations a country that is under the rule of law, of course, a country that also fears God, and a country that is going to be devoid of these chest thumpers. Chest thumpers. I've never seen this culture of people just chest thumping, and they can call anybody any name, anytime. I want to tell you, I'll be there for the Kenyan people.
Thank you so much, Mheshimiwa.
Thank you.
I don't know how many minutes do you have, because I want to give ladies now. I see ladies coming on platform. I don't know how many minutes you want to add us before we wind up.
Hillary, can I just ask for 1 or 2 minutes? Just
okay, 15 minutes at the top of the hour. So, Bonnie, as you come in, I ask you a question, then Rose Reseko, then Dolphin, in that order. Bonnie, go ahead.
Bonnie, just keep it to 1 minute,
Honorable,
please. Thank you.
We'll do that. Thank you so much for your responses.
I can hear you, Bonnie. Go ahead.
Awesome. So, Mr. Musyoka, the question that I was posing to you have to do with credibility and authenticity. And I asked you why you think Kenyans should trust you when you stand there in a press conference with a known thief of public resources. I have done a serious study on everything that took place when Babayao was governor of Kiambu County. Perhaps you haven't seen it, but I can tell you that if there is ever a poster boy for corruption and everything that's wrong with Kenyan politics, it is Babayao. The last person who deserves a second chance and the benefit of the doubt is Babayao. And I'm puzzled that you will urge Kenyans to look at an individual like that and say, cut him some slack. Wait for our court system to determine that he's a known criminal. I mean, we know that our system of justice doesn't work. An individual like that steals from the most vulnerable in our community, bribes his way through the court system, and is still a viable politician in our country. And people that are asking Kenyans to trust him do not have the ability, the foresight to be able to tell people that should not go anywhere near public